Good afternoon, everyone. Let me use this opportunity to appreciate all participants on this platform and to thank the YYSA Yoruba Youth Socio-Cultural Association worldwide and the Lagos chapter for this honor given to me to be the keynote speaker on a special day like this, whereby we celebrate our democracy, June 12. We all know what happened June 12, 1993, when a mandate given to MQ Abiola was taken away by the marauders, just like that. But as we are starting today, I would like to first of all introduce myself to Abiodun Fatomilola. Oladosun Abiodun Fatomilola is from Ekiti State. As my state of origin, born and brought up at Ile-Ife, the cradle land, the source of Yoruba people. I had my primary, secondary, and tertiary education at Ile-Ife. At University, Obafemi University, I read dramatic arts, drama department, and I also read Yoruba language and literature at African Languages and Literature department. Born into the family of Chief Peter Oladele Fatomilola, your theater icon, your theater guru, you all know him, Peter Fatomilola, in your Yoruba movie. And to Pastor Mrs. Adebola Fatomilola, I graduated from Obafemi University in the year 1999/2000. I am married with children. I'm a teacher, an artist, a freelance broadcaster, a Yoruba anthropologist, arts and media consultant, and at the same time, I'm a Yoruba language and literature educator. Thank you. And I want to thank the YYSA Lagos State chapter for this honor again and the privilege given to me once again. Thank you so much for this good thing we are doing, and I pray that the Yorubas will continue to excel. Thank you. Let me quickly highlight some points of concerns for discussion. A brief history of the Yorubas. I may not need to go into a comprehensive history of our existence, but I know that we are a great tribe, a major tribe within Nigeria, and we span across southwest part of Nigeria, to part of south-south, and to part of north-central of Nigeria. Not only that, but we also spread to outside Nigeria in some neighboring country, and also found in some part of South America today for a reason. We are very industrious, learned, accommodating, and our level of hospitality is commendable. But we still have a big challenge or challenges right from the beginning of our existence, when we were known as Omokaaro-Ojirebi, before we metamorphosized into the name they call us today, Yoruba. Some of our challenges which we are still facing today are being power drunk and cupidity. I searched for the right definition of cupidity. It says a strong desire for more wealth, possession, power, and so on, more than a person needs. And that's the major problem we have. All this brought about thinking of personal gain rather than what will benefit the people. It shows that the leadership and followership field and gap is an age-long cankerworm that has besieged us right from our existence as Omokaaro-Ojirebi till now that we are called Yorubas in Nigeria. My dear youth, this problem still persists among us, the Yorubas. Which way forward? That is the question. My take is that virus that I called attitudinal problem needs to go. Now, the conquest of the Yorubas and amalgamation of Nigeria, that is point 2. Since 1914 that they gave us the Nigeria we have today, it has always been a story of things not working out. Hence, the need for way forward. Why some believe it is okay, the way Nigeria is going. The question now is that who are the people or category of people enjoying the way Nigeria is going, and who are the people or category of people complaining? Is it not the problems I talked about on that brief history of the Yoruba as regard leadership and followership shortcomings that has grew more and get complicated under amalgamated Nigeria? Now it's no longer Yoruba, but with other major and minor players. No doubt, there are complaints that things are not improving as expected for us as Yorubas. Likewise, some other players are complaining too. Who are the cause? That is the question. What is the way forward? That is the question. My take is that it is not too late. If genuinely our leaders, including you, us, can look back and see where they have failed us as Yorubas and take necessary steps to avert future crises. Point number 3, Yorubas in the new Nigeria. Since we came together as a nation called Nigeria, we have witnessed different transformation politically, economically, socio-culturally, in governance, etc., progressively as a nation and as Yorubas. But the question now is that when we benchmark where we are today, do we give ourselves a good score, a good grade, that we are okay or better or satisfied as Yorubas in Nigeria? My answer or take is that the Yorubas are not okay and not satisfied. My dear youth, which way forward? Do not lose hope. We can still channel our bundle of youthful energy positively to repositioning the Yorubas by always thinking and acting positively with sincere heart and with fear of God. Point number 4. The 1957 Western Region independence and self-government. This was an era whereby the Yorubas were able to move at appreciable speed, and the people of older age nowadays do refer to that time that truly the Yorubas were better positioned compared to what we are experiencing today in terms of sincere and genuine quality leadership. Strong unity and sincere focus among our leaders gave the Western region and Eastern region of Nigeria independence and internal self-government that time without waiting for the northern region of Nigeria before they progress with the resources available to them. This was the period of Action Group AG, primarily supported by the Yorubas of the West and National Convention of Nigerian Citizens, whose prime support came from the Igbos of the East. The 1957 Western and Eastern region independence and self-government gave a power of decision-taking to these two regions on how to progress at their own speed without hindrances from any quarter. The Northern Nigerian gained their regional independence and self-government in 1959. Election to the Federal House of Representatives in December 1959 brought in a new government. At its first meeting, the new House of Representatives requested full sovereignty, and Nigeria proceeded to independence on October 1st, 1960. The battle and the interest to get independence for Nigeria as a country necessitated change in interest and aspiration of some of our leaders, which is different from initial focus they have when they gain regional independence. With this new development, some of our leaders turned back from their initial interest they are for the Western region movement. But was it done in good interest? This is the big question we need to look into when discussing way forward. What were the motives, position, and action of Northern People's Congress, NPC, in coalition and forming an alliance with NCNC that time when agitation for Nigeria independence at the cost of neglecting their regional independence progress? Was it done in good intention? Didn't it affect the speed of our regional development? These are questions we need to ask and answer as we discuss the way forward for Yorubas. Who benefited from this process and who are the people suffering from this process? Then I continue with my discussion. When I saw the team Nigeria and the Yorubas, the way forward, many thoughts came to my mind on what should be the way forward and in what context should this team be discussed. For one person or only me to stand up today and tell us a perfect way forward will be tantamount to no solution. This team called for consultation and getting other people's view on what should be a better way forward. Hence the need for me to open a discussion with few people ahead to say their view while I put together various positive views and mine as a contribution to our expected way forward. The team is a very compound one. Nigeria is the country, and the Yorubas, a major player, major people inside the country, living with other major and minor major players. The way forward simply shows there are problems and issues affecting the progress of our country, Nigeria, and the people tagged the Yorubas, and it shows the right and desired changes are expected. What should be the right and desired changes in a complex environment of ours, faced with a big and niche problem that I called attitudinal problem, caused by many factors, which we are responsible for through our wrong attitude. Many things are wrong about our attitude. In checking for words that are synonymous to attitude, I find all these words: approach, outlook, manner, stance, position, feelings, thoughts, mindset. All these we have lost to greediness, avarice, covetousness, materialism, cupidity, acquisitiveness, meanness, stinginess, and to the father of all evil that we call corruption. It will be wise for all of us to know that the way forward we're expecting as Yorubas inside our country, Nigeria, concerns you and I. But what of your attitudinal problem? We love to condemn, castigating, and to complain, but never ready to examine ourselves and do the needful. YYSA represents a large army of energetic and vibrant population of Yoruba youth. But do we really have the youth we represent attached without a selfish gain? This is a question. We have the word sociocultural attached to our name, but do we really understand the word sociocultural? What it entails and the value it carries? This is a question. I'm asking this question to prepare our mind positively as we discuss the right way forward, which should be our collective decision without personal gains in our mind. And in our discussion and decision about way forward, we shouldn't forget that we exist inside a nation with other players. We coexist with other people, and what should be our healthy focus in making the right decision for our expected and desired way forward as Yoruba? The answer to this should be our collective decision and discussion. While I only moderate to hear different views and put together the best decision we noted, my dear YYSA, we should all know that this discussion is coming up on a special date, June 12th, and I want to believe we all know the significance of June 12th, why we choose the date for a discussion like this, and the relevance of June 12th to our theme for discussion. June 12th is about hope that we believe is not lost yet. It's about struggle that we strongly believe we should uphold. It's about strength we believe we can rejuvenate. And if well achieved without detractors, it can bring about the way forward we expected as Nigeria inside, as we expected as Yorubas inside Nigeria. Moving on with point number 8. Second persecution of Yorubas, Abiola and 1983 election. And thank God today we are celebrating MQ Abiola again. 1993 election, though, has come and gone. And Abiola, some people will say, our president-elect, but that never rules. So sad. I remember that day, he was voted for massively from north to south, from east to west. In fact, it should be regarded as the most free and fair election so far in the history of electioneering process in the history of Nigeria democracy. But why? Well, some people do say a lot of things about MK Abiola. They started talking about his weaknesses, his shortcomings as a man. We all have our weaknesses and our shortcomings. But we are talking about common interest, common goal. We gave him this vote. Some people will say maybe he would even have failed us more if he had been given the opportunity to rule. That is not accepted by me. We should have given him this chance to rule and wait for time to complain. A president that never ruled. So sad. We all know the story and how it went. Yoruba adage says, Bikuli oba pani tode ole pani. Without the death inside, it will be difficult for the death outside to kill you. Yoruba have once been robbed during Awolowo time that they did not allow him to rule Nigeria. And it happened again to MK Abiola when 1993 mandate given to him to rule Nigeria was truncated by some power that be in Nigeria. Awolowo and Abiola happen to come from the same state in Nigeria. Is there any problem with that? That's the question. Is there any issue against them from their home state? That's another question. Are there any forces working against them from the Yoruba land? That's another question. Abiola was massively voted in as president of Nigeria from north to south, from east to west. But who truncated this victory and why? This is a question that till now no one can give definite answer. What was his stand and role of notable Yorubas when Abiola was in the prison? Till the date he was released, killed, and after he was killed. We heard of how some traditional leaders, Yoruba tycoons, and some Yoruba politicians threw cautions into the wind and drummed support for another government while convincing their people to forget about June 12 mandate. It is this same June 12 mandate of 1993 that we are celebrating today that this present government recognized, which I have a feeling that is trickish. There's a politics about accepting June 12 as a democracy day, not because they really love Yorubas. We continue. I said Yoruba politicians threw caution into the wind and drum support for another government while convincing their people to forget about June 12 mandate. It is this same June 12 mandate of 1993 that we are celebrating today, even though it took the government at the center over 20 years to recognize these people's mandate. It is sad that some Yorubas were used and allowed themselves to be used by some disgruntled element in Nigeria politics because they themselves are full of greed, corrupt mind, and selfish in their thinking. But we shouldn't forget that I said we need to forget and forgive some unpleasant past and adjust our mind to start a new beginning in order to move forward as a nation and as Yorubas. It was only during June 12 mandate reclaiming protest that I saw Yorubas youth for the first time coming together and moving massively in a cooperative manner to demand for what they believe is for them. And after that time, I haven't witnessed such unity of purpose in staging a peaceful protest to demand for what they believe is right. We are now cowards. The youth shouldn't forget that through peaceful protest, they can speak out their mind and it's always effective when betrayers are not found among them. So also I believe that other peaceful means should first be explored to resolve issues first. I move forward. Nigeria independence and political structures. Looking back from 1960 and assessing our political atmosphere and our political structures, can we say we are progressively developed to an appreciable level that what our expectation in Nigeria and among Yorubas, even when elections are conducted within our regional space? Though we have so many years of military rule that we believed gave us a lot of setback as a nation and as a region, but with the opportunity of ruling ourselves outside military period since 1990 till now, can we give ourselves a pass mark that shows we have really done great as an independent nation? If the answer is no, then what is the way forward? My take would be a Yoruba adage that says, "Ẹni burúmọ̀, ẹni tó máa sọ fún ló ń wá." The person that is wicked knows. He's only waiting for someone to say it to his face. Why can't we put on the right attitude and determine to do it right? Putting aside the personal gain and think of collective gain as a nation and as Yorubas. I move on. Point number 6. The 1962 Action Group Crisis, Awolowo versus Akintola. With great and due respect to the duo, I must say they made a big landmark in democracy and politics in southwest part of Nigeria. Today we cannot talk about politics in Nigeria and in Yoruba land without referring to these two names. Pa Obafemi Awolowo remains a name that can never be forgotten in Nigeria and in Yoruba land. Likewise, Sir Ladoke Akintola is a name to be remembered. But something went wrong between these two political giants. What is that thing that went wrong? Some said it was lack of trust. Some said lack of love. Some said it was being power drunk. Some said it was greed. Some said it was jealous. Some said it's due to Akintola not respecting and keeping to promises between the duo. But what of you? What do you say is the problem? The bitter truth is that this bitterness that this duo didn't settle when both were alive. Similar bitterness is still germinating within our political sphere among Yorubas. And we always pretend as if all is normal among our leaders. Meanwhile, it's a deceit. And when leadership is faulty, followership cannot experience any progress. So the way forward will be difficult. The only way out is sincere unity, straight from the mind, and the youth should be focused and refuse to be used as a tool of disunity. Point number 7. Nigeria Civil War. Genesis and Yoruba position and role. Till today, we have a region that believes that Yorubas are betrayers of trust when it comes to taking decisions and uniting. Though our leaders in Yoruba land may have reasons for taking some decision during Nigeria's civil war, but the question is that was it taken in the interest of the Yorubas or for some people's personal interest? I wouldn't want to dwell more on this, but one thing I've noticed is that we have a lot to do when it comes to people trusting us. Among ourselves as Yorubas, people do not have single trust. So how do we expect other people or tribe that will live inside the same nation to trust us? And to build this trust, the leadership and the followership structures need to be very strong in unity. Among Yorubas, leaders don't trust followers, and followers no longer trust their leaders. Only if we can correct that, then the expected and desired way forward can happen. Among us as Yoruba youths, are we building one family with a trust to unite us? That's the question. Are we not going to deceive and betray ourselves while championing a common goal? That's the question. Some of our leaders too, which we are still part of, need to put on the right attitude to achieve more. Our problem can still be linked to that attitudinal problem that I mentioned. If we don't forget some unpalatable history and shun some unpleasant past story to give way for new beginning in our mind, we won't forgive and forget our old past. And it will be very difficult for us as Yorubas to unite and to build trust to succeed in any of our pursuit. Point number 9, Yorubas in the new democratic setting, 1999 to date. In a way, the northern power and their cohort from other parts of the nation saw it right that the only way to kill the memory of June 12 mandate is to put Yoruba man in power. With the belief that such move will erase June 12 thought from our mind and maybe will stop us from remembering June 12 every year. But I appreciate those who stood on their feet in the southwest that June 12 must be remembered every year till the government at the center finally adopted June 12 as a democracy day. But I doubt it if it was done based on good motives and genuineness. I see it as a political move to get an attention of some southwest politicians against their brothers and sisters in the west who do not align with their present political movement at the center at present. It's not their fault. They are very good at divide and rule tactics, and they know that we Yoruba can easily be used against ourselves, for we have been used against ourselves before successfully to their own advantage. Why taking so long before June 12 got recognition with all the noise from Southwest every year when we celebrate June 12? Other parts of Nigeria had forgotten June 12 many years back. It's never in their memory again, and they do not wish it resurface again. Maybe our prayer answered and June 12 got recognized. Was June 12 acknowledgement came as a result of doing it right? As we in the Southwest agitated that it should be remembered, or was it based on scoring a political move? The answer is dicey. But today, I'm also happy that June 12 remembrance and celebration has come to stay. But Yoruba adage says, Ojulala kan fi sori, we must be vigilant. Ore yi jo ore eke ede. Bí ìgbà kan fẹ́ tàn wá ká fi rú wọn lójú, ó ní nǹkan kan tó fẹ́ fi gbà lọ́wọ́ wa láti kọ̀yìn àwọn kan síra wọn, so that they too can achieve their own aim. This good gesture looks tricky. Another big question that people are asking is that why did June 12 acknowledgement suffer when we have a Yoruba man in power? And more so, they are from the same state. Ìbéèrè kan tún nìyẹn pé kí ló dé tọmọ tiwa ò ṣe ń gbà tó wà ń bẹ̀. Àwọn wo àbófẹ́ ṣe táwọn táwọn agbára kan ní apá region nìkan ni wọn gbà kó ṣe nígbà náà àbí fẹ́nu tiẹ̀ náà ló padà rẹ̀ tó burú débẹ̀ ni. So many things that I would need people to respond to today. The reality is that this virus of hatred, of not accepting anything good about ourselves, still remains our big problem. Love and unity is still missing. We prefer to satisfy other people and turn our back to our brothers. Until we stop this wrong attitude, it will be difficult for us to move forward. You will all recollect that to douse the tension of June 12, they gave us Chief Olusegun Obasanjo and Chief Olufale to contest, while other people should wait in 1999. They want to please the Yorubas. Is it out of genuine sympathy they agreed to do that for the Yorubas or not? The two candidates they gave us from Yoruba land, are they our choices or their northerners or their choices? From 1999 to date, at the state level and federal level, what percentage will you give to the Yoruba politicians in different political offices in terms of performances, looking at all promises made? Are we satisfied? I know the answer is no. Our problem is not the name of the political parties, but the people that occupies the parties. You will notice that things are falling apart at the center systemically. Hence, the agitation coming from different regions, tribes, and groups as to what they believe should be the way forward. Everything is like a time bomb, waiting for an inclement weather to detonate. My take is that our leaders across regions should listen to the voice of the people they govern and reason with them, and do that which is right and at the right time. Is it true federalism that we need? Is it regional autonomy? Is it restructuring and so on? They know what is good, only that greed and selfishness has affected our nation and regional leadership system, and we followers are not helping the situation at all. I move on. Thank you for this question again. Please, I'm saying all this so that all of us can please play this audio back again and then we pay attention. Another question from one of the admin that can post for now. Abiola and 1983 election. He asks, any forces within Yorubas? Yes. Me, I will say yes. But though other people will still contribute and say their own view. But there are forces within Yorubas. See, Yorùbá will say àgbàjá kì í báwọ̀ jẹ́. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ló ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àwọn orí adé kan wà tí mo forúkọ bò láṣìírí àti àwọn kan wà tẹ́ pé tí à ń gbórúkọ wọn pé they are in fact tẹ́ pé wọ́n jẹ́ leader adarí tá à ń wò tá à ń darúkọ wọn lónìí tẹ́ pé ẹnìkan nínú ìdílé wọn ó dé wà lára okùnfà tí wọ́n ṣe tábẹ́là ò fi débẹ̀. There are forces within, no doubt about, even within Ogun State, you will see that they produce so many leaders tó ti lead wa ní Nàìjíríà at the presidency level. Dọ̀la wọn fẹ́ràn ara wọn àfi tán bá ń tanra wọn lókù wọn fẹ́ràn ara wọn even ní state táwọn gangan ti wá. There are forces within Yorubas who truncate the victory. See, it's a big cabal. I know there are a lot of people on this platform táwọn náà mọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan tẹ́ pé gbàtà bá ń dá sí ẹ̀ẹ́jọ́ máa gbọ́ kó má jẹ́nu èmi nìkan. What are stands of Yorubas? Our stand. We were divided because of what they will gain from that division. Ẹja gbàgbé June 12 de wo ẹ̀yin náà ẹgbẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀yin náà wo ẹjọ́ di ọ̀fìyà gan ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́ abẹ̀sí sọ̀rọ̀ òdì síra wa torí pé àwọn kan ti rí nǹkan kan fẹ́ jẹ. Wọ́n gbàgbé àfojúsùn wa nígbà tá a sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé ọmọ wa yìí síbẹ̀ o lè ṣe torí àwọn nǹkan tó ti ṣe sẹ́yìn la fi wò pé tó bá débẹ̀ àṣejù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Is the acceptance of June 12 trickish by the present government? Yes. Yes, very very trickish. Lára àwọn tó wà níjọba ní ìsìn wọ́n wà níjọba nígbà náà nígbà tá a agitate fún June 12 tí wọ́n gbà. They are not new wine, they are old wine. In fact, they are old as old as anything. Àwọn tó wà níjọba ní àwọn tó ti wà níjọba ìjọba rí ni. Àwọn tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ń gbà tó pé nígbà tí wọ́n gbé Abẹ́lá síbẹ̀ tó tún gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ tó tún pa àwọn tó mọ̀ sí ìgbà náà sì wà nínú ìjọba dèní. Àwọn tó sọ pé no Abẹ́lá no ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó débẹ̀ wọ́n wà ní ìjọba lẹ́yìn tó sọ pé yes ó yẹ báyìí ká tún gbé síbẹ̀. Everything is like they are playing us like a ludo. When they want to satisfy a particular interest at a particular moment, they know how to go about it. And we too, followers, we are gullible. Youth, we are gullible. We fall for anything. And you see us arguing on social media. Àtìgbà kan ní one voice rí on social media. Start a discussion and see how some Yoruba will be attacking each other. We are already divided, no focus. We don't have one voice. And I don't know when we will have. We begin to now bring up the past. So that nígbà fún way forward tá à ń sọ a máa ṣe àwáwí ẹ̀yìn wọn ẹ jẹ́ ká gbàgbé àwáwí ẹ̀yìn if we must move forward àwáwí ẹ̀yìn gbọ́dọ̀ kọjá lọ ká gbàgbé ohun tàná ká mú nǹkan tuntun míì sọ. We need to look forward. We need to forgive and forget ourselves. Some past it may be difficult but we just have to for the sake of the new beginning, of new focus, of new redirection. I move on and I continue to point 11. Which arrangement best suits the Yoruba movement? Which arrangement best suits the Yoruba movement? I say number one, status quo. Let's remain where we are. True federalism, regional autonomy. Then the last one, outright breakup. I put question mark. Outright breakup. And I said, if you choose this, I have many questions for you to answer. I'm not saying we should not break up, and I'm not saying we should break up. That is why I put a question mark. Outright break up with a question mark. If you choose this, I have many questions for you to answer. We want to break up. Fine. Good. Okay. But will the story not still continue? The forces, the detractor, the betrayer, they are inside us. What will see happen after breakup? Let's leave it till we get